think we're live.
Yes.
I have. Oh, let me build up my introduction. A very talented 23-year-old, soon to be 24.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of respect, a little bit of respect on the age. We are the very talented R&B pop artist. I would say singer songwriter. AWA is in the building.
Hello.
I haven't got any of
Thanks
my
for
sound
having
effects.
me.
I got to do it for you. AWA, thank
Yeah.
you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Being a Swedish mix, I have tried to pull out the bag here, so I'm just gonna throw some at you. Humordu.
Oh, wow.
Just trying. I know.
Pronunciation's great.
Thank you. And
Jamu bra. That would be my response.
Jamu bra, tack.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Wow.
Just in case you don't know Swedish, I had to brush up just because I was in the building. I thought, let me come correct. Let me start properly.
I appreciate
How
that.
are you?
I'm great. I'm in Sweden with my family, so that's good.
So jealous. So jealous. And the weather, please make it just.
Yeah, it's actually lovely here. It's been very hot today, almost too hot.
Oh, too hot. Okay, well,
yeah.
I'll say it's been too freezing here. I've been wrapped up and miserable. It's very, very, very rainy. When are you coming back?
Tomorrow. I'll promise to bring the sun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you please? Do you mind just packing like just a little bit of
a tiny bit.
Let's get straight into it. I mean, wow, I want to talk a bit about how you got into everything, really, from X Factor, winning that. I guess your upbringing as well, because you're mixed with Swedish and Senegalese.
Yes.
So I kind of want to touch on some of these things as well. But I guess where should we start? Like, what's it like growing up with mixed heritage? You was brought up in, was it Stockholm?
Yeah, born and raised in Stockholm. Yeah.
Wow. So what was that like?
Weird. Yeah, I think now at 23, like I have weekly therapy, and we touch a lot of those subjects. And I think that growing up as a mixed child in a very like white neighborhood was quite weird. And I hear a lot of mixed race kids having this kind of belief like, where do I belong? And I don't know, I think it kind of manifested in ways of where I like wanted to wear my hair straight, and I never let my mom like have my curls out. I was always like pulling it back in a ponytail, and comments like, you're not like them, and weird stuff like that I wouldn't realize was kind of undercover racism that I've realized now. But also, Sweden is a great country as well. Like there's obviously pros and cons to everything, but definitely a big gap in terms of like knowing like, oh, where do I fit in, and like who am I?
Yeah. So you had a bit of a strange kind of maybe identity crisis every now and again, sort of growing up around there. You went to classic school in Sweden as well, didn't you?
At 12.
At 12, how was that?
It was amazing. I think that was kind of my first, where I felt quite liberated, because everyone was there for music, and that was like the universal language. And you applied to that school. I applied 3 times before I got in. Wow. So you like every year, so 3 years, and then I got in, and it was like people from all parts of Sweden really, and Stockholm. So it was much more cultural and more like a melting pot there. So that was a really good step for me in my personal journey.
What did you study? What did you specialize?
So in that age in Sweden, you don't have kind of a specific, other than like classical music school was, so we had choir every day, and we had big shows in like all the big arenas and stuff. So it was really cool. Yeah.
That sounds very cool. What made you kind of make that choice? Like, did you grow up quite musically? Like,
my mom, she was a ballerina until I was born, so I took that away from her.
Reel off the list.
But and also my dad's from Senegal, so we were always like around a lot of music and a lot of like rhythm, and a lot of those like Senegalese parties I went to at like
it goes down.
6 years old. I was like up until 7 a.m. dancing at New Year's,
Oh wow.
So yeah, no, I mean definitely I wouldn't say that anyone sings in my family. Like
Okay.
they might like to say that they do.
Like me in the shower.
But definitely a lot of, you know, dance and theater and a lot of like, yeah, a lot of culture.
Tell me, if you was gonna choose between the two, Senegalese or Swedish, I guess, like, what music do you think kind of inspired you the most, or culture-wise, or are you kind of like a melting pot of the two?
I
The
think it's
music's
definitely
so
a melting
expressive.
pot of the two. I think Swedish folklore music is, I take a lot of inspiration from that in the melody language, because
That's amazing.
it's really nice. And we, you know, we have amazing pop artists and songwriters and producers in Sweden, but it's definitely a more like structurized way of working than
Okay.
I do in England, with R&B thrown into the mix. But you know, more like rhythm and drums from Senegal is definitely something that I've incorporated like now more after
Yeah.
moving to London. Yeah.
Oh, after moving to London.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so if we've compared those two, what do you think, like, what differs from UK music to, I guess, like Swedish music?
I mean, I've always, although like Sweden has its own kind of, I think we're so all over the place. Like I started going to LA and London at a really young age, at like 16, and a lot
Yeah.
of my like peers and like, you know, friends and stuff in music did the same. So I think that we've been quite collaborative as just Swedish like top liners and, you know, producers just all over the world. So I think, you know, like big up ABBA, for example. Like I love
Yeah.
them. Not something that I listen to every day, but it's definitely something that, you know, is a great Swedish cultural, like, you know, something to be proud of from there and take inspiration from as well. But I think in UK there's definitely more of a melting pot for culture, and definitely more, there's more space to kind of own your own narrative, in my opinion.
I like that. So, like, would you say growing up you kind of had a mix of the two? So you had, you know, where you, especially going back and forth from LA and stuff like that, you've kind of maybe been exposed to quite a lot of different influences of music growing
Yeah,
up as well.
definitely. And you know, I think I found it quite interesting just over the years to kind of figure out my own sound
Yeah,
between all
same.
of these kind of three places. I went Sweden, London, and LA the most.
Yeah.
Even New York sometimes, but I don't think that, you know, it's the best city for sessions. It's more like meetings and stuff.
Oh, okay, okay. I can't imagine that. You're so busy. And at 16, I can't even, man, I don't even know what I was doing at 16 years old. And there's you flying back and forth. Like, what, would you collaborate with any, like, Swedish artists and stuff? Have you made any music with?
I have my friend Molly Hammar and my
Yes.
Norwegian friend Julie Bergen. We have a song together. It's called "Know Me Fast." Love it. And
Yes.
actually, my dear friend Benjamin Ingrosso wrote it with Molly, and we went to kindergarten together. So that's the whole
Oh my
Swedish
gosh,
clan.
really? So the
Yeah,
Swedish clan.
yeah. Swedish house mafia. Um, no, so definitely, you know, collab mostly like, you know, with songwriters from Sweden at this point,
Yeah.
but then
Okay.
I'm open to it.
So would you, what about maybe, what female artists should we look out for in Sweden?
In Sweden, I mean, obviously Zara Larsson is, but we all know her, amazing. Molly Hammar, as I said,
Yeah.
her voice is incredible, and I
She's up
just
and
can't.
coming as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait for her to like take over the world, because I definitely think she's like too good for Sweden.
Too good for Sweden. I like it.
Yeah. But no, there's a lot of talented. I have my other friend Isabel Sikai is her artist name.
Okay.
She's amazing, and an amazing R&B singer as well.
You know, I feel like I'm actually gonna like write these down. I love discovering new music, and it's like with Molly as well. It does feel a bit like, if you know, then you know. What? You don't know, like, until she blows, and then it's like, now everybody knows. But it's like,
she has a song with Big Nasty, actually.
Yeah. So it's like, you know,
So
just like still slightly, you can get away with being like, oh, how do you not know who that is, you know, kind of thing. But no, I mean, I'm looking out for Molly as well. I think it'd be really good to get some more talent, definitely from, like, you know, them sides as well.
yeah.
you've had a couple features from artists in the UK. Alakai Harley was one of them.
Yes.
JB Scofield, it was
Yes.
as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
On Feelings, yeah.
Is that just because did that just come about, or is it because now you're more based in the UK, so you've kind of...
I mean, I've been in London for 4 years.
4 years now. Wow.
So I kind of moved, like my friends moved, I think, in 2017. So maybe that's 5 years. No, is that 4 years? I don't know. I failed maths.
We've missed a year because of COVID. Yeah. It's hard to...
But no, I think, you know, definitely it's been a very natural progress in terms of just like me being in sessions and getting to know people, and then it kind of just falling into place.
Yeah. And okay, so I want to like talk a little bit about the music, I guess the inspiration behind the music, because a lot of the sound is very expressive, very, very expressive. And am I right in saying that you're quite transparent in your music?
Yeah, definitely.
I did see a little bit of the journey from when you excelled from X Factor.
Yeah, I was on X Factor.
Yeah,
in 2012.
2012. So from 2012 to sort of like now,
yeah,
how have you found the journey of sort of finding your sound, like rejecting things that didn't like suit you? How has that been? Has it been hard? You know, where are you at?
I mean, I've been very open on my Instagram and social media in general about mental health, and I personally think I was definitely too young to be thrown in, because I won X Factor as well. So I was, you know, by contract, I went on tour immediately, and I was exhausted. I was burnt out the first time at 15.
That's insane.
Yeah, and a lot of things that has to change in the industry. A lot of, you know, people not getting paid. Me not getting paid.
Not naming any names, but you know.
No, it's been hard. It's been really hard. I think music though is what's kept me going, and I also think that, you know, sometimes and that I mean just the industry in its whole, take advantage of the passion that young creators have for the music, because you kind of get thrown into the narrative that the industry is doing you a favor, and that, you know, you're replaceable. But I when I started kind of, you know, getting into like songwriting for real, and like knowing my own sound and taking off the kind of pressure of going into a session and writing a hit, that's when I started writing good songs, and like knowing that like, no, actually I'm really good at this. And if you take music out of the music industry, there's no industry. So it's kind of like now I'm on a journey of taking that power back, and I feel heard and seen in England more than I did in Sweden.
Wow, that's a big statement. I mean, I'm here for you. I'm supporting the whole thing. You know, I love your vulnerability. I love the transparency through the music. You're very, very talented. And I think you can tell. I still am gobsmacked at the age at 23. Like, honestly, the journey that you've been through up to now, I'm very excited to see all the new things to come. Like, what kind of things can we look out for? You know, obviously we've got 24/7. I love that going on. What more things can we?
I think, you know, I've definitely found my sound, and I think that's something I found a couple of years ago. I think London has really been such a blessing for me, because it's allowed me to kind of, you know, connect to my African side more, because there is so much more culture like in your face in London rather than in Sweden. You know what I mean? Like in Sweden, it's very segregated, and there's not a lot of representation within the industry, and you know, already having the disadvantage of being a woman, but then also being a woman of color.
I was gonna say, factors.
So it's I think now it's just like I'm officially off my antidepressants, and okay,
well, let's do it.
Well
done. That's a moment.
Thank you. And I'm actually really happy, just like within myself. So I feel now that I've taken my power back, and there's a lot of exciting, authentic songs coming. I'm writing my album. My first album right now is almost done. Yeah, so I'm excited to share that, and it's going to be very vulnerable and, you know, honest, and it's all about that healing isn't linear, but that it gets better.
Yes, love it. I very much appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're amazing. So intelligent. So
you.
talented and so creative.
Mhm.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the projects coming up, and definitely ready to hear this album. We are going to get into more of your music as well after this. And where can we find you on all the socials? Plug yourself so anyone
All the
listening can find you.
socials. This is our AWA. This is our 97 on TikTok. Killing it over there with my mother. She's on there all the time. She loves
Really?
it.
I love
it. So yeah, and I just dropped a music video today, and that's on YouTube.
Yes, amazing.
And yeah.
And by the way, love the visuals. They
Thank
are
you.
sick on every video. They're on point. They're
Thank
very,
you.
very
Thank you.
So shout out to you for that creative
Thanks.
element. And yeah, thank you so much. Big thank you for being here.
You're locked into Girls I Rate.